Hello everyone, and welcome back to my little corner of the web where we talk about self-care, mental health, personal growth, and other things that help us to show up as our best selves. I have personally been practicing meditation pretty regularly for the last 3 years or so, and today I want to share some reasons why meditation has personally helped me a lot, and as well as a few tips for new meditators. Quick little intro, what exactly is meditation for people who are unfamiliar with it? Meditation is essentially the practice of being focused within the present moment and being here and now with your body, with your senses, with what you're seeing, smelling, feeling, as well as what is in your environment and the things around you. A common misconception is also that you have to be completely still to be meditating, and that is not true. Meditation can happen through any activity in your daily life as long as you're intensely focused in the present moment with that activity. So why do people meditate then? People meditate for all kinds of reasons, whether it's for spiritual practices, grounding techniques, helping to alleviate mental health challenges, stress relief, and I truly believe that it is a core practice that everyone should have in our self-care rituals. Now we're gonna dive a little bit into my personal journey and how I got started meditating myself. So how did I get started meditating? The quick answer to this is depression. And early in college, I was really struggling with a lot of mental health challenges. As soon as you Google, like, how do I manage my anxiety or my depression, meditation is one of the first things that always comes up. And so I started to give it a try. I was very, very skeptical of it at first. I was like, how is sitting still gonna help at all? Shouldn't I be doing things to help my anxiety? And quite honestly, I was still very skeptical of meditation for the first couple weeks, months that I began doing it. But then I started practicing very regularly in my junior year of college, and I really started to see a lot of internal transformation happening. Specifically, I got started meditating using YouTube meditations. There's a lot of free meditation videos that you can use, and eventually I transitioned over to using the Headspace app, which I've had for now the last 3 years. And I definitely haven't meditated every single day over the last couple of years, but it's been a pretty consistent practice, at least a couple of times a week, and especially now in quarantine, I've been pretty diligent about doing it every single day. And so now we're gonna get into the 4 ways in which meditation has specifically helped to improve my well-being. The first way is through emotion and thought awareness, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It is being more aware of what you're thinking and feeling at any given moment. And I am someone who has a lot of emotions, and my mind is constantly running at like 120 miles an hour, and meditation is something that has helped me to be more at peace with the things that I'm thinking and feeling. A key pillar in meditation is to recognize that we are not our thoughts and our feelings. We are simply the observer of our thoughts and feelings. And so a lot of stress, anxiety, frustration, anger comes from this attachment to the things that we're thinking and feeling, and associating ourselves with negative thoughts, negative thinking, racing thinking. Learning this principle of meditation has really helped me to detach from my thoughts, especially when they prove to be really unhelpful. For example, let's say I'm really stressed about like an upcoming deadline. I have a big project due next week and I don't know how I'm gonna get it done. To a certain degree, the stress will be helpful because it will help to remind me that I need to get shit done. But at the same time, it becomes unhelpful if I've thought about this deadline like 20 times in the last hour. There's definitely a fine balance between having helpful and unhelpful thoughts, and meditation helps you to become more aware of that. The more time that I spend observing my thoughts and emotions, the more chaotic I realize my brain can be, and also the less judgmental of it I am then. Because I think the more that we realize the chaos of our brain, the more we're able to detach from it and not associate with it. As you're observing all of the chaotic thoughts that are happening in your head, we're reminded constantly that those thoughts are not us as beings. And so over time, as you develop this emotion and thought awareness, you start to see yourself more as the observer of your thoughts and less associated directly with all the chaos that is happening. The second benefit that I have felt through meditation is what I like to call moments of bliss. And this started happening to me not for a while. I want to say maybe like 6 months into my meditation journey is I started having these moments of like hyper focused presence throughout my daily life. And these are moments where I just feel very intensely focused on the present moment, essentially meditation started to become more incorporated into my day-to-day activities. So like I mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily have to be sitting still all the time to meditate. You can be like typing away on your keyboard, you can be reading a book, you can be walking outside, and you can be meditating throughout any of those activities. Over time, I started to slowly notice that the feelings that I had during my meditations would also appear in my daily life. And so this is something that I experience a lot too when I'm walking outside and when I'm a little bit more connected to nature. I start to have these little lightning bolts of peaceful, blissful moments. That's just a really nice thing. The third way in which meditation has really helped me has been in dealing with conflict. When you have better awareness of what you're thinking and feeling, you're much more easily able to catch yourself before you say something that you don't mean. A lot of thoughts and emotions that come up in our brain are not necessarily reflections of us as beings, and are not always reflections of who we want to project out into the world. And so say you're in an argument with someone, a lot of the times we have these uncontrollable bouts of anger where we say things that we don't mean, we don't want to say to people, we say things that are hurtful. And meditation has helped me to become significantly more aware when I'm about to do something like this. On top of being better at dealing with conflict with other people, I feel like internally I've been able to help to alleviate turmoil that I have with myself. If I'm arguing with myself, if I'm panicking, if I'm having an episode, I'm much more easily able to calm down, observe my thoughts and emotions, and come to a rational conclusion for what I should be doing. And lastly, meditation has also helped me to feel just a general sense of calm. I feel like I've almost like Pavloved myself into meditation practice, where pretty much as soon as I start a meditation and when I end a meditation, I almost immediately feel calmer. Whether this is like a placebo effect or like a confirmation bias because we mentally associate meditation with calmness, I know this is something that I have definitely felt and I have experienced. And it's kind of nice knowing you have this tool in your back pocket for whenever you need it. Whenever you're in a moment of distress or anger or intense emotion, you have this tool to take a step back and observe your thoughts and emotions and make the rational conclusion. Creating this distance between your thoughts and feelings and what you want to project out into the world helps to create such a sense of internal calm and a lot more internal peace as well. Okay, so now we're gonna dive into some tips for new meditators. This can be tips for new people, maybe a refresher if you're a veteran, or if you have any other tips for meditation, definitely drop them below. I'm always looking for more tips. The first tip for new meditators is do not expect immediate results. This is a mistake that I made when I first started meditating. Is I would do one meditation session and I would be like, why don't I feel calm? What's going on? This is broken. And I would get really frustrated that I wasn't getting the immediate effects that so many people rave about. I can promise you that over time you will start to feel these effects a lot more. It just comes with routine and consistent practice. The second tip for new meditators is a follow-up on the first one, and that is to be persistent. Meditation is very much like training a muscle. The more you practice, the more you work out, aka the more you do your meditation, the more results you will see. And it's the same for when you don't meditate. When you stop meditating for a while, your meditation muscle starts to atrophy and you start to feel the effects of meditation less and less. I've definitely learned this from my personal experience. If I've gone like a couple weeks or something without meditating, you start to lose those benefits that you feel from meditating in your day-to-day life. So if you're trying to get like super ripped and shredded meditation muscles, it's super important to be persistent, show up every day, even if it's just for like 3-5 minutes a day, and you'll definitely start to see results from being persistent. The third tip for new meditators is the use of visualization. And so this is a common thing that they teach in the Headspace app and as well as different meditation packs online. But the idea of visualization is to just give your brain something to focus on while you're in a state of meditation. A lot of people, when they start meditating, they get kind of confused and like don't know if they're doing it right or don't know what they should be focusing on if it's not their thoughts. And so one common meditation visualization is to imagine an orb of light. And so you could imagine it either like right in front of you. I usually imagine mine right above my head, and you imagine all the details in this orb of light, like the color, the texture, how large it is it moving? And that way, that helps to give your mind something to focus on and also something to ground yourself into the present moment. And so those are 3 tips that I would suggest for new meditators, is to first, don't expect immediate results. Second, be very persistent, be relentlessly persistent. And third is to focus on the use of visualizations. And remember that the ultimate goal of meditation is not to eliminate a racing mind or eliminate anxious thoughts or eliminate destructive thoughts. It's very much about making peace with it. And again, people meditate for all types of reasons, and these are just some of the reasons why I will definitely continue to meditate for the foreseeable future and maybe for my life. I don't know, that's a lot of years, hopefully. I hope that you guys found this helpful, and again, if you did find this helpful, I would super appreciate a little like or a subscribe. It really helps me to know what kind of content to make in the future. I literally don't know where my bye clip went, so this is bye. See you guys next time. Hee hee.